Everyone, welcome back to the shop. We are doing a little bit of a different video today. We're talking about van tools or van building tools. So during the live stream, if you guys have any questions on tools that I use to build custom vans, also anything related to DIY tools. So we talk a lot about DIY tools that I think are really good for you guys in the DIY van build sheet. So I'm going to talk about that in just one second. But to kick it off, you guys can see the big thing in the room here. We've got the Sawstop Professional Cabinet Saw, and we're going to be using this to build custom cabinets and a kitchen galley and custom drawers in this current build that we have. Now, typically, what I do is we will take prefabricated kitchen galleys, such as ones from Flatline Van Co. I'll modify them to either accept, different fridges or different types of configurations. But really, those are the core elements that are used into the build process. The Adventure Wagon is a great way to bolt those into the van. So that's a whole system and process. So the tools that were used to do that are track saw to cut out the panels in the back of the van, normal chop saw for the 80/20, and then we get into a little bit of upholstery and saws and stuff like that. However, those components are for that kind of a build. When you get into building more, I don't want to say DIY, but more professional cabinetry inside of a van, you're going to need a little bit different set of tools to increase your productivity. So even though I can use the track saw, I can use my miter saw, and I can use my smaller table saw to create what I've already done in the past with my personal van build and other van builds. We're going to be investing into this type of equipment to get just a little bit more precision into the whole entire process. Now, when I talk about precision, a track saw is very precise. However, really, a track saw is really designed to break down large sheet goods, such as like a 4x8 sheet of plywood, stuff like that, to have it more manageable to bring it to the table saw. Now, where you can kind of bump up your speed, and that's what I'm looking forward to doing with this, is if you are let's just say you're a DIYer and you have some simple hand tools, and you want to invest in a table saw so that you can actually cut bigger pieces of wood. That's kind of what we're doing, but more on a professional scale with this. So we're going to turn this into not just a saw, but a huge work table. And the reason I'm doing a live stream with this saw is because this is going to be kind of a focal point of the channel going forward. It's going to be in a lot of videos because we're going to be building not only the bed system, but we're going to be building the box for the EcoFlow in the back of the van, the box to house the water tank, so the 36-gallon Northwest Conversions water tank. We're also going to be obviously doing the kitchen galley, and then we have a stackable unit that's going to be lifting up the Isotherm Cruise 130 fridge and then having a microwave on top of it. So it's going to be its own dedicated cabinet. So again, these are not modules that are bought that have done in the past, such like Flatline Van Co. that I've mentioned. There's other companies like RB Components, and some others that we'll talk about. We actually have a blog post on some ready-to-go units that you guys can put inside your van, some stuff that I recommend. But since we're kind of going over here to more, I guess, bespoke, custom fabrication, that's where this comes into play. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all your questions that you guys have on van tools. So if you have any questions on tools for vans, or DIY building your van, tools that I think I would recommend you guys to get. That'll be in the chat, so if you guys have those questions, put them there. And in the meantime, I'll be putting this together, so I thought this might be some entertaining content for you. Nova's going to be hanging out over here in the video as well. But yeah, let me pull up this right here. So we've got the DIY van build cheat sheet. And this is what I was talking about earlier. So this cheat sheet is what you guys can download completely free and get a list of tools that I recommend. So if we could look, do a sneak peek of what's inside this list, you guys are going to see that we have storage items, electrical items, we've got fasteners, hardware, HVAC, insulation, roofing, solar. So we got a lot of great components in here. Now, these components, this is a list of the last 3 years of all of my Amazon purchases. So what's cool is if it's on this list, I've physically bought it, it's came into the shop and I've used it. Now, what else have I used? Tools. So again, the theme of today's video is tools to help you with your DIY van build. And we've got a lot of stuff here. Now, a lot of these things are hand tools. So you're gonna have like rivet nut tools. So those are the tools that we talked about in a previous live stream where you have these rivet nuts that are threaded, or these threaded inserts. And those are used for pretty much the entire adventure wagon build that we did. The whole entire adventure wagon system has something called the A-frame, and it's riveted into the structure of the van. So you need to have a special tool to do that. There is a manual tool, but it's going to take you forever. So the tool in this right here is the Astro Pneumatic rivet nut drill adapter kit. That tool is attaches to a drill, and it makes it so much quicker to use. There's also things in here like wood hole saws, crimping tools for electronics, and then we got like a hydraulic cable lug tool. This is the really heavy duty, it's a hydraulic crimper that you're going to be able to use for crimping all your electrical connections. So with this, you're going to have a lot of hand tools, stuff to help you assemble things faster. However, what's not on this list is talking about tools that you need to actually, cut wood. So hand saws, stuff like that. Well, not just hand saws, but essentially drills. And hold on a second. There we go. Not drills. Miter saws, table saws, sanding disc, power sanders, stuff like that. There's a whole other side that we haven't talked about on the channel as far as how you actually cut the wood to put into your van. Not everybody is going to be using prefabricated cabinets like we've done in the past. So now's the time to actually kind of teach you guys a little bit about fabricating stuff out of sheet goods such as 4x8 plywood, 1/2-inch plywood, 3/4-inch plywood. And what's really nice is we will be actually getting some Baltic birch in here. So we've got a local supplier that we've found, which is really exciting because we'll be able to upgrade from typical, wood from the box stores such as Lowe's and Home Depot, and we'll move into some really nice types of material specifically for this build. All right, so we've got all of this stuff right here. This is on the list. So the name of this list is called the DIY Van Build Cheat Sheet. And the cool thing is, it's 100% free. Just put your name and email address. It'll be sent right to your inbox. And you're gonna get this list. It's easy to go through. You hit Control F and you can search for like water pump and see, if I can spell it right. We got pump. There we go. We got a C-flow, water pressure pump. So check that out. So you can fill it out here, or you can click the link in the description below to get it, or visit vanbuilderhq.com. Let's see, then I'm actually going to go really quick to the website. And so what I want you guys to do is go on Google, and then you want to do Van Builder HQ, and we're going to search for the best camper van conversion kits for DIY build. that's going to bring you to this blog post. Now, the website, Van Builder HQ, we've curated a bunch of blog posts here. So these are all of this is pretty much my brain put into a blog post. So if you wanted to, instead of watching all the videos on the channel, you want to go directly to a specific topic or article, go to vanbuilderhq.com. This is where the long format stuff is going to be. So for example, if you guys are looking for camper van countertop ideas for your van build, you can go to this blog post and I go into detail. And the cool thing is all these photos, these are from events that we've gone to. So this is the Bend, Oregon event. We're checking out van speed. So down here, you'll be able to figure out, what the picture's from, what you're looking at. But we've got some kitchen galleys here. This is a photo from my first van build. Just very traditional. We've got a toolbox mixed with some cabinetry and a countertop. And you can kind of see where we're going. We're going from this type of stuff where we're kind of fusing pre-made things together, and I'm talking about today's video. And where I'm going from that to more professional stuff that I'll show you in just one second. But yeah, these are really cool. This is actually Grit Overland. They have a really long butcher block. But these blog posts are going to help you get a more detailed idea about what is possible in a camper van conversion. This is a Flatline Vanco kitchen galley, for example. And I think this photo shows you a good example of, this is a very expensive kitchen galley. It's around the $2,000, $2,200 price range. But if you can look in this photo and you can kind of see the value what you're getting, which is, beautiful countertop, which is, it's a 2-inch countertop of solid bamboo. You're going to get 2 drawers that are solid bamboo again. They're faced with a powder-coated aluminum front, positive latching drawer locks. You get a space on the left underneath the sink for up to 14 gallons of gray water storage with those 2 tanks. And I use the ones from Panther RV. The door is nice and polished. And then on the right side, in between the 2 drawers on the right, you have enough room for an isotherm drawer 85-liter fridge. So all that's happening with that. So you can kind of go from, standard DIY and then upgrade to something that's prefabricated. Yeah, but take a look at this stuff. It's just really good to help you with some ideas. If you haven't been able to make it to some van shows, actually go look inside the van. You can check out where we're going and what we're doing when we travel to these shows. Now, this kitchen galley right here, this is really close to what we're going to be using the Sawstop Professional Cabinet Saw setup to build. Now, I built something almost like this in Thomas's build, which is Marine 1, except for his, since we had such limited space, all we did was create a door for his underneath of his sink, but he did not have any room for drawers. So that's kind of as far as we got for his build. And then we did a bunch of sliding upper cabinets. So not hinged, just sliding upper cabinets. But stuff like this with the marine latches, I love stuff like that. However, let me move over here since we're going down the wormhole of tools because I'm getting ready to purchase some more tools and I wanted to show them to you. So I've been back and forth on magnetic latches for drawer pulls. So when you're building a van, you're going to need something in your van to make sure that your drawers do not come open. And there's a really good video that I saw that I'll link here. I'm going to have to find it. It's on my other channel. But there's a great video. He went through probably 10 parts for DIY van builds, and he went through everything that he didn't like about it. And then the final one he came to was this product right here. And this is a very heavy-duty magnetic latch. And so what's nice about it is you're going to be able to, instead of doing the marine latch that's a pull and it's actually kind of difficult to install, this solution is going to be much easier for you to install. You're going to have more adjustability, and you can have more of a traditional drawer look in your van. So for example, if you have, instead of having this, you can have something more like this clean face, or you can go with actual drawer pulls, so handles on the drawers. And I don't think any of these, so these right here. So like ones you see on everyday kitchen cabinets. So you can go with that look, and you don't have to have something that's latching, because this product, let's see if I can go back to the link here. Because this product right here is going to solve that for you. Yeah, so I'm going to be purchasing these because I'm pretty much going to go with these for this current build. I really like this, and it's low profile. So whenever you're building, well, there we go. Sorry, I wasn't on it. So these are very low profile, and they're not going to get in the way of the fabrication of the I don't know, let me get the drawing pad out. I'm going to have to draw when I'm trying to explain to you guys, so I don't sound crazy over here. All right, here we go. We're going to go into the drawing pad. We're going to there we go. Give me 1 second. We'll be right there. Okay. Here we go. So we are at the drawing pad. I'm going to turn this video capture off because I don't have the camera in the right direction. All right, let's talk about kitchen galleys. So you have a kitchen galley, right? You have your sink is right here, and right down here you're going to have your door to access your gray water tanks that are inside here, for example. Now here's the question. When you're building this cabinet, there's a couple different ways you can go. You can have an open frame, so one that is 80-20, for example. And this is going to define where your drawers are going to be. So, for example, if you did with the 80-20, you have to have your drawers here in between the 80-20, and that's kind of fixed. Or for our build, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing the same thing, but we're going to have a wooden face frame. So pretty much all a wooden face frame is it's a thin panel, for example, and this panel, let's just say it's 3/4 of an inch thick. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut out openings that are for our drawers. And so however big we want the drawers to be, let's just say, so ignore how I drew this. So down here, let's say we got 2 drawers, one for silverware, maybe one for the induction stove, and then at the bottom we've got a big one for pots and pans, for example. Now what we're going to need to do is think of this as like it's a picture frame that hides the internal structure of the cabinet, and then you're going to have an opening here for your cabinet door. Now this is going to cover the cabinet because the cabinet is probably going to be built in 3 different panels. You'll have some rear support panels, and we're going to do all of this on, we're going to do all of that on this saw. So that's kind of why this is the start of the show for the next 2 weeks. Let me get back here. So this face frame that we're going to build, it's like its own picture frame for this. Now the reason I wanted to draw this is what you need to find out is where am I going to put the, one, where am I going to put the drawers, and 2, where do I put these magnet pieces to actually hold the drawers closed. So that's a big deal. If you don't design your kitchen galley correctly with the way you're building it, you might not have the you might not have the correct places to mount these magnets, is what I'm saying. For example, on Thomas's build, I built him a kitchen galley, but it was out of 80/20, and there was only a few places that I could actually mount the latch to shut the door and keep it latched. Now for this build, we're going to need a face frame because we're going to mount those magnetic pulls, or what hold the drawers shut and what hold the cabinet shut right there. So those are going to be part of the face frame. So these right here are going to be drilled into here. So we'll have one screw here, one here, and this will be part of its own frame. So don't think about, this is not what we're talking about. Not the cabinet, we're only talking about this frame. So now that those magnetic holders are there, that way when you're driving in the drawers will come out, but you can, the appearance and then how they function. So for example, you'll be able to do a traditional knob, or you can do, more of a, modern handle, or you can do like a straight bar or something like that. So as you can see, your handle choice right here so this handle choice can be whatever you want. It's not affecting how the drawer is held shut. So you can get the look you want, and the drawer's going to stay shut. And you're going to be mounted easily as if you had the, let's see, we're here. So for example, if you had these marine latch pulls, there's a specific way you have to drill it into the drawer front. Not only that, it has to be dead on to the clip on the top for it to actually operate properly, because it's what opens the drawer and it's what latches the drawer. So this would be a better solution for you if you, even if it's your first time doing this might be a good solution. So we're going to be making a face frame with this saw, and then we're also going to be putting, whatever the customer selects for the knobs on the front, or you don't have to do a knob. We can actually undercut the side, but you probably want some knobs. You can hang like a little trash bag or something like that when you're cooking to it, which is pretty nice. But yeah, so for making this, and then also making the drawers that you guys are going to see be fabricated here in the next 2 weeks, we are going to be utilizing this right behind me. So the rest of this stream, we are going to be putting this together. So if you guys have any questions on tools, put those in the chat. If I need to go back to the face frame example, I can do that. But yeah, we're just showing some different tools that you can use to build your cabinets. And don't forget to check out vanbuilderhq.com for all of these articles. All right, let's go ahead and get started with this. I'll try to pay attention to the computer to see if you guys have any questions. But yeah, this is the Sawstop. It's called a Professional Cabinet Saw, and I've bought table saws in the past. They call them contractor saws or portable table saws, and apparently this is its own standalone. As much as I've used saws, I actually did not know why this is called a cabinet saw. Cabinet makers use this to build cabinets professionally, so I just assume that's why it's called a cabinet saw. It's called a cabinet saw because the motor and the unit is encased in a cabinet. So this is a steel cabinet. That is what the cabinet part refers to. Now, if you guys are not familiar with these, and this is a great video for you guys to watch, but Sawstop, if you don't know who they are, they make these saws, and they are the ones that actually make the safety mechanism inside the saw. You might have seen this on YouTube or Instagram, TikTok. This is the saw that automatically retracts if it detects a human finger, or it's detecting moisture. So if you are going to cut wood that is slightly damp, or you're cutting some brass or something like that, you're going to want to, there's a whole entire process to take a key and disarm that whole entire safety system, so you can use it for that purpose. However, this system, every time it's turned on, it's armed to protect your digits. So it has an electrical, it's got a whole entire mechanism inside that will detect that slight bit of, I'm trying to think how the best way to explain it, like that electrical current that's coming from you. And when it senses that, or it senses that you have touched the blade, it instantly essentially crashes itself into an aluminum block. Or the aluminum block is spring-loaded, and it crashes right into the blade, and it instantly stops it within a couple milliseconds. So it's very safe. However, when you do that with this, even though you've saved your finger, it's about $100 to replace the cartridge every time you do that. If you guys are using this saw with a dado blade, which is a blade that cuts bigger slots, like for example, if you need to slot the back of a drawer face or a drawer itself, and you want to slide in a piece of wood for the drawer bottom, you'll need a dado bit to cut that 1/4 of an inch slot in order to make your drawers. When you do that, you do have to buy a separate dado blade, a certified Sawstop mechanism, because you're going from a 10-inch blade typically to an 8-inch blade, and that stopping mechanism needs to be designed a little bit thicker and wider for it to safely stop that blade. So that is pretty much what the saw is known for. It stops to save from cutting your fingers off, which is nice. So that is what they're known for. However, this unit, just to talk about some specs of this unit, you can have a variety of different saw stops. They make anything from a 30-inch wide fence. So they do 30, 36, and 52. And I got the 52 because what I need this to do is, since I'm currently building this just single builder here, and I need to take the big sheet goods and do them one at a time. For other stuff, I will call in help. So for example, if we're doing rooftop AC or roof racks or anything heavy, we'll schedule that. However, most of the time I'm here just cutting this stuff on the saw, and I need to be able to manipulate big sheets of plywood onto this and have a big surface to work from. And if you limit yourself on the width of your fence, so that is the part that you can slide in and out from the saw blade, so that you set the fence, and then whatever specific sheet that you're trying to cut out or measurement, say for example, if you're making drawer fronts, for example, and this is going to be your final dimension for your drawer front, and you're ripping a piece of wood, you'll move the fence to that desired width and then go ahead and cut it. So this saw needs to be extremely accurate, and that's what this saw is designed for. It's very high accuracy. So instead of taking a a skill saw or a jigsaw, this is much more precise. Now, however wide you're going to be in, or however wide you need to go or you're anticipating going, so from 30 to 36 inches to 52 inches, you need to figure out maybe how you're going to use the saw. Since I'm working with vans and I'm not building cabinets for homes, most of the time I need to, for this specific measurement, I need to go bigger than 36 inches, for example. So one thing that I planned on is I'm making my own bed system for this build, and the bed height is 36 inches. However, the front face of the bed is going to be, 42 inches. So for example, if I wanted to cut that 42 inch wide piece on this saw, so it's going to be 42 inches and about 6 feet long. As you can see, I won't be able to, if I had a 36 inch fence max, I'm not going to be able to cut that to my desired length in one pass. And by just doing one pass, it's much more efficient. So if I come all the way out to 52, I've got lots of room to work with. So I'm more flexible on my cuts, and I can do them one time as opposed to doing 3 or 4 cuts to get it cut down to size, and then it's pretty much the way I've been doing it. So we went with the 52 inch fence, and it's the T-Guide, which is the higher end version. They have 2 different style fences, and the T-Guide or T-Glide is the one that you want to get. Even if you get the contractor version, which is the one right below this, you're going to want to get the T-Glide upgrade. That's just what everyone says on YouTube. It's better than whatever comes with the standard. And then I went from the 1.75 horsepower and I went up to the 3.0 or 3 horsepower motor. I kind of half and half got talked into it. The 1.75 is, for what I do for vans, we have 1/4 inch plywood, which is the 1/4 inch is pretty much underlayment. It may be Baltic birch, but it's really easy to cut through. Typical 4x8 sheets of plywood are coming from Lowe's and Home Depot, and those are the sanded plies. They're pretty soft woods, all things considered, and this is a 1.75 horsepower will be no problem. However, I'm assuming in the future, or maybe I want to do something on this van, working with hardwoods. And when you go from plywood to hardwoods, you kind of get into a different world as far as woodworking, and those hardwoods are going to be harder on the saw. Now, technically, the 1.75 will do it, but as you can imagine, it's putting a lot of stress on the saw, and it can actually not only be a safety issue with the saw going down so slow that it's catching and not cleanly cutting through the wood, but the saw it might actually stop when you're trying to put the wood through it, which again is just dangerous. So if you have the appropriate horsepower, you're not going to be taxing the motor. It's going to last long theoretically, and that's pretty much a benefit. Now, 2 things. The 1.75 horsepower is pretty much plug and play because it's going to plug into a 110 outlet. Now, however, I have heard that you may need a special breaker circuit for the 1.75 depending on the amount of current that it draws just on startup. So the motor startup is like a surge, and sometimes it may trip the breaker on startup. That's just what I've heard online. This is going to be the 220 or 240 volt motor. So I'm actually going to have to I'm going to unhook my shop heat, or it's my backup heat. I don't actually use it because I have a mini split, but I'm going to actually unhook that, bring the cable over here and down, and then that will be the outlet that this will use. So you need to have 240 volt service in your shop to run the 3 horsepower version of this machine. Okay, other things here. We've got, that's pretty much it. I've actually have this mounted exactly where I'm gonna put it in the shop. So I'm not gonna be, this is, I mean, pretty much within a 1/4 inch where it's gonna be. I've got 52 inches over here. I actually have, I'm not sure where the reference point is, either from here on the edge, because I have a, what is it? I think it's a cast iron piece here, and then I've got an extension table that goes over here. So I'm not sure which one is defining where I'm going to be, but right here, I have it, and this thing is solid. It's not moving. I put 4 felt pads on the bottom, but this thing weighs a couple 100 pounds. And I want to make the shorter version of this video for anybody that wants to get to the point. These live streams are long, as you guys know if you've watched before. But they're really just so you guys can ask questions while I'm doing something in the shop. Yeah, but we got the saw. The next thing that we have is the fence system. So this is the 52 extension table. We've got the rail for the T-glide system. The 2, I'm pretty sure it's cast iron parts. This is the air, or the dust collection on the top of the machine. I won't be using this. There's a 4-inch kind of downdraft system in the bottom of this, and so I'm going to be using that to do my dust collection. And then behind this wall, I actually have it's like a very small, like 4 by 10 foot utility room, and the dust collection will probably be piped out there. So I'll come over here, probably drill a hole through the wall, and that'll be for the dust collection. Because again, you guys are going to see this in the shop a lot, because everything in this build is going to be essentially a cut on this saw. We were going to be using the track saw, the table saw, miter for a bunch of stuff, but the timeline, I'm collapsing the timeline to get things done quicker, and that's why this saw is here tonight. All right, let's check out the first step over here. We've got a couple of tools for changing and installing the blade. So the blade install, probably won't do that tonight. As far as the power setup, we also won't do that tonight. This is just getting this thing ready to go. Because tomorrow, our current customers are coming over, and we're going to finalize a couple things about the drawers. I got a couple questions for them as far as finalizing how many drawers we're going to have set up for the EcoFlow system in the back of the van. So we'll be talking to them about that. But yeah, let's get started putting this together. In the longer version video, you guys will actually see how I got this in here. It's pretty wild because this thing is extremely heavy. It's very heavy. But a lot of people kind of praise them for their really nice, it's kind of like IKEA, but it's color coded, and the color coded parts actually match the color-coded portions of the installation manual. The first thing is on this manual that we did was we went ahead and unboxed it, and I've got some B-roll of that later, but unboxed it, took it out, flipped it around on the ground, and flipped it over. So we've gone through that thing. Let's see here. So the first thing we're going to do is we need to take off this top. The first thing you want to do is they want us to clean it. So we're going to get some gloves on and we're going to start cleaning this thing. All right, if you guys are just joining the live stream, we've got some new tools in the shop, and this is what we're going to be using to put together our kitchen galley and a couple of the boxes that we're going to be custom fabricating in the shop. So we're taking a different approach from what we've typically done, which is usually track saw, miter saw, and stuff like that. And since we're going to be building drawers, custom drawers, we're going to be using this tool to do that. So I've done what exactly everybody does, and I probably watched about 10 hours of YouTube videos just to really confirm that this is the appropriate piece for the shop, because this is an inexpensive, this is definitely what you would call an investment piece. But I was kind of going over, you know, I was finalizing some designs on the cabinet and the kitchen galley and all that good stuff, and the results that I wanted, it pretty much came to my attention that I needed to get something a little bit more precise. Now, I can be extremely precise when I do any type of woodworking, because that's pretty much my standard. But the thing is, precision takes time, but if you have the right tools, you can still be precise and still do things quickly. But you need the right tool. So this is the tool. I'm not going to go over how you have to, you know, sand and wax this. But apparently with this right here, it is pretty finicky as far as, you know, resting up on you very quickly because it's just raw. But I'm not going to do that in this video. This is already going to be a long video. And if you guys are new to this channel, pretty much all the live streams are just long form, me working in the shop. Gives you guys the opportunity to ask questions about, you know, anything van build related. But then what I do is I'm going to take this footage that I'm recording right now, I'll chop it up into a shorter video that's easier to watch, and then that'll be what you guys can watch later. So, you know, if you are deciding on or looking to buy this saw, you'll be able to watch a shorter version instead of this whole long one. Okay, so we're on the next page. So we cleaned up the top, and next we're going to put on the hand wheel and handle. So the hand wheel and handle is this blue section. And then you're going to have some keys here. So if you guys have never installed something like that, I will show you how to do that. And there's 2 set screws that are really easy to lose, so hopefully I don't drop these on the floor. That's definitely not it's not the best place to put it, is it? Anyway. So to put those keyways in, you're gonna need like a little ball peen hammer. It's the best way to do that. So we've got our 2 handles here. They look like this. And they come with these 2 knobs. So I'm not sure which knob goes where. Okay, it looks like the long one goes on the front. so we're just going to take this key and we're just going to tap it into this shaft right here. And very gently, not... Okay, let's see if that is going to fit now. Yeah, that goes in really easy. Okay, I think it's the long one. Maybe. Yeah, it's showing the long ones on the front. Long one's on the front, and then the short one is on the back. What can I help you with, Nova? So we will need a wrench for this handle. I'm not sure if they actually have it in the pack or not. No, so let's get an adjustable wrench and we'll be right back. Okay, so we got our crescent wrench. We're filling up Nova's water bowl right now, so I gotta, after I lock this in place, I need to go get that out of the sink. Okay, we're coming back to put on the second knob. So just a small crescent wrench is all you need there. The second knob is over here on the right-hand side. And just be careful, the knob is going to fall out. And you probably don't want to dent your floor or the knob itself, so just know that it's pretty much loose in here. But it's chromed and it's really nice. Okay, next we need to put our keyway in for this other side. And we also need to put in our set screws. So I did not put in the set screw. They do have a set of Allen wrenches right here. So we're gonna open those up. So here's your set of Allen wrenches. And this is your blade spacing and adjustment gauge. So that's what you're gonna set the actual saw stop component width. Now I have been told that if you use a nickel, that it's an easier way to make that adjustment, but don't take that from me. All right, we have 2 set screws that we need to set into the wheel, and those are from the back here. And be careful, the Allen wrench is really close to the powder coated steel, and that's going to, you're going to scratch it if you don't pay attention. Okay, so just I'm trying to pull it out without scratching. It's right on there too. Okay, got one more. I know you're trying to go outside in the middle of a live stream. Okay, then we just need to take our handle with our wrench, get this put back into place. All right. So those are the tilt control shaft and the elevation knob. Next, we are going to mount the dust port, and we have to open up the side of the panel and do that. So this is a Phillips I spent today cleaning out the this whole corner of the shop, so my tools are all the way on the other side of the shop. All right, let's move this stuff out of the way. This will be our table that we eventually put onto the right side of the table. These right here are our very heavy side pieces that we'll be also installing. So I'm trying not to move this stuff too many times here. I think I'm just going to have to move it a bunch of times. Now, believe it or not, you guys will see this again in the shorter video, but I actually got, I had the guys at the place that I bought it from, they helped me get on the trailer with all the pieces here. And when I got to the shop, I was able to, you'll see it in the video, but I actually was able to get this in here myself, which was pretty amazing. If you're just very careful and just be aware that, you know, not to pull your back out, just take everything nice and easy. It should not be, it's something you can do. I think you can do it. Okay, now we're getting the dust thing out, but at the same time, we've got the control box for the actual safety system, the Sawstop safety system. So I'm going to try to get these zip ties off. If you guys have a flush cut trimmer, that is the tool that you need for this. So I've actually got a flush cut. So if you're building vans, flush cut is, you're going to want to use that because you can, it's the best thing to cut zip ties when you're maybe temporarily doing some wiring or something like that. That's the best, it's the best thing to use. All right, let's try not to scratch this guy up too much. Let's see if we can just let it hang for a second. All right, so there we go. So we're gonna, you guys can't see this on camera, but we're going to just put that dust collection just straight out the back. And it only takes 3 screws. And so we're gonna take these out right here. Mounting the dust port, 3 screws, and lock washers. Okay, we're gonna go. So this has a 4-inch dust collection hose on the back. And if you're on the fence between the contractor version and this version, just as much as I have read online, this version is going to be the one that has the better dust collecting part inside. I think the contractor series is more open towards the top, and it doesn't do a good of a job, as according to the internet. But yeah, I'm really excited to use this. Couldn't come at a better time because time for an upgrade, and I want to increase my quality output better. Okay, so that is in place. Next, we're going to, I have to say these instructions are great. They're really nice. Now we got to go, we're going to put the side cover on. All right, so let's So this has nothing to do with the side cover. I'm just taking this out. Because right now they've currently got the saw angled down and in the, okay, so that's the elevation. So let's angle, let's get our cardboard off of here on the inside. Okay, that's pretty much it. There's nothing else really in here except this is the power to the motor, and then this is the power to the Sawstop mechanism circuitry. And it's already pre-installed in there, so we may have to set it, but that might not be in this video. Anyway, so what I'm doing now is the blade was kind of like at a 45-degree angle, and so I'm moving it to 0. So essentially zeroing it out, and the motor is going to come out the side. And now this box right here is what we're going to cover it up with, and that is the next part of our instructions. So on the very right-hand side of the kit, we kind of moved left from right, left to right. Now the mounting, the motor cover is going to be this bar. So it's just a single piece of metal. And so, got it's a little upside down. And it's actually, I saw when they did this on a video, and it's bottom to top, and then you can just kind of tap it down. So the plastic in this cover in the bottom is actually going to hold it in place. Okay, so that holds it in place, and we can just keep that shut. It looks like there is something down here that you can keep this door shut. Just a hole down there. So it seems to me like that is going to rattle and vibrate, but I'm not sure. Might need to tape that. All right, moving along. We are moving from that. Okay, the pin is in. So now we're going to be mounting the extension wings. So I've got 2 of them. And from other videos that I've watched, what you need to make sure that you watch out for are these edges. So one side is not chamfered. The front's chamfered, the rear is not chamfered. And this might be a fun part of the video because apparently you need somebody to help you do this. And it's just me right now. Whether figure this out or we'll stop the live stream and we'll do something different. get all this stuff off the table. Mounting extension wings, and we've got, so let's get our washers out. Got our lock washers. And then our M8 by 20 hex bolts. So this is going to be super slippery and very sharp. So okay, our chamfered edge is on the bottom. So let's clean up this inside. Then we're going to get the German Shepherd and we'll come right back in. Okay, I think we can, let's see here. These guys are sockets. So let's go ahead and get our socket wrench for this set up. So hopefully we can do this in one go. All right, let's go find the socket for this in our toolbox and we'll be right back. All right, looks like we got 13 millimeter for these. Question is, can we do it solo? Okay. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, we're gonna have to get creative. All right, I think 80-20 is my friend on this one. Actually, I'm gonna need to use this humongous level anyway, so. Because we will need to level our piece right here. All right, that should do it. That should help me get this on here. Yeah, this thing must weigh 20 pounds. It's very heavy. Okay, so we wiped off this side. Okay, we're gonna need one of those adjustable extensions for that, if you have it. That's really hard to get in there to adjust that. So don't forget, you got 4 on each side. So I'm going to take a rubber mallet and I'm just going to start trying to get this to where I want it to be. It's really close though. But a lot of the stuff I read online, sometimes this is what a lot of people are unhappy about. So we'll see if ours is passable. I think it's going to be just fine. My middles are good, but these outsides are not. All right, we're probably gonna have to get some regular clamps to get those outside edges. I see what people mean when it's crowned. Mine is not as bad as I've seen others. I think mine can be fixed. But it's like, I don't know how many thousands you would say it's off, but I need a clamp. All right, where are my other clamps at? Okay, these are not the clamps that I would use. I don't know where my other clamps went at the moment. Oh, this actually works really good. Huh. Wow. Okay. Well, that works really good. Surprisingly. Now something that hopefully doesn't kick me in the butt is when I'm tightening these, I didn't take like brake cleaner or anything and clean out the holes that this clamps down to. I don't think it says anything about doing that. No, it doesn't say anything. Okay, so this worked here. So now, wow, that was pretty good. So over here, let's see. Let's just loosen this and see if we can make this one better. Hopefully it doesn't mess us up. I don't think it will. Yeah, but if you guys have any ideas in the comments for, I've watched a bunch of videos on how to care for the top, but I'm curious if anybody takes this just super bit of hairline portion here and actually kind of like with a wet rock or some type of stone, polishing stone, kind of stones it down. And maybe that's something that sounds crazy that I'm saying that, but yeah, I haven't had one of these this precise before, so. Wow, that's really good. Yeah, as soon as I tighten it, it pulls it down. Not sure why it's doing that. Nope, it's worse now. Man. Okay, stay just like that. All right, I think it's really good. It's as good as I'm going to get it right now. So we can continue with the video. Okay, let's do the other side. I think that's where we're headed to. Yeah, we're doing both sides, and then we're going to get into the switch box. Mounting the switch box is next. Remember, when you take this out, it is very sharp, very greasy, so just be careful. Okay, we're going to do the same method. I'm going to take this rail and we're going to come up under here. Okay, that looks good. Actually, going to come down a little bit. This thing is heavy. It's very heavy. Okay. Check and see if anybody's watching. I'm not sure if this is interesting or not. I'm just recording it. It's in the shop, and I thought you guys might want to hang out while we install this piece of equipment. So when the next live stream comes on and we're doing all kinds of woodworking with it, that you know what it is. Now, I'm not degreasing this inside completely because I want it to have some corrosion protection. Or at least that's what I think it's going to do if I don't take it all the way off. Yeah, I did a ton of research to make this decision, because if you guys are watching this, you may know this being a very, very expensive piece of equipment, machine, tool. Yeah, I decided to go with it because I'm building drawer boxes, and even though I can do it with the stuff that I have in the shop, it's not, I'm always wanting to improve, and if I use the stuff in the shop, it will be okay, it'll be fine, but it won't be what I want it to be, if that makes sense. So. No. I've got to take that clamp off to get to the bolt hole. Okay, we got 3 bolts in there. It's pretty safe. move this. Still want to kind of use that to hold that. All right, so the way I'm doing this is I'm doing the outsides last. I'm doing the middle ones first. It's not, the lip that I need to do this is not, it's non-existent on this side. Oh well. How's that? It's perfect, perfect here all the way to about right here. Okay, so that right there is perfect. So let's tighten that one down. Now it does change when you tighten it, so it's kind of a pain in the butt. Yeah, as soon as I clamp it on this back side, it goes too high. This side might be better than the other side. Of course, I guess this side is, the other side with the fence is, I guess, more important. Well, now that I know how to actually do this, this is actually not turning out too bad. I'm sure I will read in the comments if it's even necessary to be this precise, but I've watched a lot of videos and it seems, well, nobody does these videos in real time. It's always a time lapse. That's kind of my mission on this channel, is just real-time video. I'll shorten it up later. So, all right, now we can clean this off. And I'm just using denatured alcohol. That's just what I'm using. Yeah, let me know in the comments, guys, or the chat if you guys like this long form content. I'm just always curious. I'm going to do it regardless, but it'd be neat to hear feedback from you guys if you guys are watching live right now. But don't worry, this is a van building channel. This is not a tool review channel, but like I said, this whole area back here is going to be dedicated to building the components that we need inside our van builds. So I'm going to do this one big video, and then we probably won't talk about it again. So. Man, I nailed it on this one. This one is just... I mean, I can always adjust it, but man, this side over here, maybe it's not me. Maybe it's the actual stuff people complain about online. All right, one more hit with the denatured alcohol. We will move on. Okay. All right, let's take these gloves off. Let's change them out. Okay, the sides are done. I made sure they were flush. I did not check for level. I mean, that's right on the line. On my floor, shop floor. I mean, that's That is excellent. We're just going to go with that. It's within the 2 lines of the bubble level, which is, that's pretty impressive. Okay, next, we need to mount the switch bracket. Maybe I don't need gloves. Switch box. Say the hardware for the switch box. Okay, switch box mounting hardware. We're going to need 1 of the Allen wrenches to do that. So it's 2 screws. So we are on the orange section, right there. Got 2 screws, we got 2 lock washers, 2 M6 washers, and then the switch box keys. So these keys are what allow you to take the Sawstop out of its safety mode. And so in case you're cutting, maybe there's some, maybe you got some damp wood that you need to cut, or some guy was talking about he was cutting some thin sheets of brass or something like that. So anything like that will trigger this machine. Put it into that safety mode where it rams right into the Sawstop. There's 2 threaded holes up under here. And we are going to put some bolts in there. Did I drop one of the bolts? I did. There's a slot here on the outside, and I'm assuming that's going to allow us to access this first part of this to get it in here. So the first time it went in, it felt like it was stripping, so I had to go backwards. I'm gonna get this one in, and then I'll just very loose. The second screw is harder because the top of the table is, I can't spin the Allen wrench all the way around. Okay, so a little bit of adjustment in that stop button. All right, let's get this. Okay, then I'm going to go inside and give it one good last tighten. Again, I'll give you a heads up maybe throughout the other live streams, but again, I did not clean out these holes with any cleaner, which my gut tells me would be a good idea, because sometimes you get any type of lubricant in there, it's going to loosen up over time. Okay, there is our electrical wires, and then we're just going to stuff these excess back into our cabinet. Okay, moving forward. This is our extension cord. We'll figure out where we're going to put that later. Door's shut. All right, let's put our key in here. So the key is just going to hang out there. Next, blade wrench holder. Okay. 2 screws, 2 lock washers, some very sharp cardboard. That definitely cut my finger. Let's see here. So it's got 2 screws. I don't know why it has 2 screws. Hold on. Okay, there's a tool holder. So we have 2 the tools over here. And somebody said what they like about this machine is that you have 2 for 2 different sizes. Apparently, other saws don't give you that. So we're gonna hang those up. Now we got 1 more screw. Okay, this is for the accessory tool holder. So this is this plastic piece that's going to go on the side, and that's what the other washer goes to, or screw and washer go to. So this is going to sit on the bottom right. Okay, and that's going to hold our, probably this guy. Actually, I don't know what this holds. Accessory tool holder. Anyway, we'll move on from that. The blade guard limit rod. So I'm not installing that. So if you guys want to install that, you'll have to check out the manual. So this part I'm not installing. The next part is getting to know your saw, the blade, the cartridge. So we're not going to change the plug on this. I'm going to keep it the same. I don't know why that doesn't go in there. Anyway. Okay, so the instructions have skipped. Oh, I got to go look in the book. They're already on the power. But we need to install the fence. So let me zoom past all this. Let me try to find the. I don't see it in here at all. I know it's in here. I just gotta find it. All right, guys, it looks like the fence install is not in there. It must be in a separate, instruction packet in here. So let's go ahead and get our T-Glide fence rails out. So this fence rail and the 52-inch extension table are going to be the final part of this video. So definitely check your part when you get this. This is the one online that a lot of people have said is damaged. It's either been dropped or it's just long, awkward, and very heavy. So kind of makes sense. And if you're using a razor like me, just be careful you don't cut the numbers. They're right underneath this piece of cardboard. So this is our guide rail that will actually again, all this stuff is super greasy. All right, still have not found instructions or bolts yet. There we go. All right, so this part's super nice. We're just gonna sit it over here. Okay, now we've got some tools. Tools, bolts, instructions. Okay, so we're doing good again. All right, guys, we had a couple of people watching the live stream, so if you have a question, it can be in the Sawstop. It doesn't have to be VEN related for once on the channel. It can be any question. We're kind of talking about tools on this live stream anyway. Okay, so this is the rail. So we're putting the front rail on first. Then we're going on the back side and doing the backside rail. Then we're putting the straight edge on, which is got the parts for the numbers. And then once those both rails are on, we'll put the extension goes on before this rail. And then over here, okay, this is the contractor saw. This is the professional cabinet saw. So we have the professional. All right, we're gonna put that down. We've got our nuts, bolts, screws, all that good stuff. So I'm gonna hit pause really quick. I'm gonna go grab something. And give me 2 seconds here. All right, there we go. Audio is back. All right, let's get this front rail on. We've got our kit here. The front rail is with the countersink screw, the countersink M8 by 16 countersink head bolts. So those are the first ones we'll be using. And I'm guessing that is what we're just getting it started with. And we'll come over here to our little tool pouch. So they give us a nice wrench and another Allen wrench. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 screws on the front. And it looks like there's 4 on the back. And it also looks like it doesn't matter what rail we grab. Of course, we'll find out for sure in just a second. All right, we're looking for the rail with the taper. Okay, this rail doesn't look like it's the rail. Okay, so one has a taper on it. Yep, this is okay. So they are different. So the rail that has like a step down on the right-hand side, that's the bar we want to start with. And this bar is not light. Okay. So these two notches are where there's no way it goes that far. What? Okay, I can move the whole saw over like 4 inches. I did not want to do that. The saw was exactly where I wanted it to be. Because this floor that I have has a bump in it. Okay, it's still level. Let's cross our fingers that is enough length. Okay, that's okay. Let's get one bolt started here. And I left my wrench on the, of course I left it over there. Of course. Okay. I don't fall off. So right now it looks like the main support for this track is not affecting this right side. So you got two here in the core of the table, one here and one here. So if you still need to level these left and right pieces, you still can. As far as I know, looking at this rail right now, putting these in does not lock these side panels into place. So you still got an opportunity to adjust that. Okay, what does it say? And it says to use the other Allen wrench to lock it into place. So you're going to need the Allen wrench from your original toolkit to lock this in. It's not saying for me to check anything else. It's just saying to lock the rail in before I move to the second countersunk set of bolts. Okay, those are in there. Very nice. Okay, moving on to the next part of the instructions. Oh, I guess we can put the back rail on. That makes sense. Okay, so this orientation, we need the back. So the rear, you have these two notches here, so they go with the two in the table. The cool thing is these bars on the backside, you can build your own outfeed table, and that's what I'm going to do. They do have one that you can purchase from them. It's about $500, but it only goes about to right here. I want mine to go out 4 feet, and then I want it to go as wide as a table, because I want to be able to have like a huge, big sheet of plywood on here, and just, that's really the whole point of getting this, is just to cut things one time instead of continually, having to break it down, plus more precision. Okay, so we got those in. Let's take this wrench, lock them down. Okay, moving on. What is our next thing on the list. Front rail, rear rail. Those notches for the miter slots. That's how you align it. Then we need the countersunk head bolts. So the countersunk head bolts. Let's see. Okay, this makes sense. Okay, this is so this step is right here, number 2. This step. So this step you're going to use, it's kind of confusing. You're going to use these bolts, but then you're going to use these washers and these nuts. And now what you're doing is now you're locking in these end parts. So it's asking you to level it again. I'm not sure. It's not saying level, it's saying use a straight edge, but we already did that. So I'm not moving this. Holes look good. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. So we've only got 4 of them. And I'm assuming we're going to use the other ones for the possibly the extension table. But right now, we're just putting 2 in the front and 2 in the back. And those washers, let's see here. And we're using the washers. Man. Okay, that's taking a while. So this countersink head goes in. On the back side, we've got the washer, the lock nut, and the bolt. This is where let's see if our 13mm wrench comes into play. For some reason, I thought this would go a little bit faster, but my goal is to get this done tonight. I got other stuff to knock out tomorrow. So if we just check this off, we will be doing excellent. I'd love to cut rip some sheets down to get ready for our boxes that we need to make for our van, our current van build that we're working on. That would be excellent. Okay, let's go ahead and get that extension. Let's see here. Yeah, you gotta do the extension before you come back around to the red box to do the rest of the install. Let's open up our extension table. I don't know where to put this. All right, so hopefully we can find a way to install this without assistance. Okay. So I think we're going to do the same thing we did for the other table. So we use this level, and I think we're going to do the same thing, bolt it to the bottom of this table. Then we can kind of have it float. So we'll look at the instructions. Let's see, we've got, so the brackets need to go in. First, I guess. Okay, very top of the blue, adjustment bracket is the first thing we're putting in. So the table, you've got 2 holes in the top, and there's a bottom side that's blank. So those 2 holes are the ones closest to your saw, and that's the one we're going to use to put these in. So this one will go up underneath here. So we got our bracket. It's going to go like that. And this apparently is what takes that bow or the bend out in the bottom of the table. Now, depending on what yours looks like, there was somebody that said they had to unbolt, like drill this out and then put a more adjustable bolt in there. So, because theirs wasn't needed to be pulled up, it needed to be pushed down. So I'm not sure what mine's going to end up looking like, so we'll just have to see here. Okay, so that's in. Next, we need the leg support brackets. So we need to put them in next. So I'll set this off to the side. So the leg support brackets. And then all of the hardware for leg support brackets is on this left-hand side. Okay, I'm gonna get this table on, and then we might have to do the fence. I don't know, maybe I can do it. Maybe I can push through. I haven't even looked at what time it is right now. Yeah, there's nobody on the live stream. It's taking forever. Okay, 2 bolts, set of washers. We got a set of lock washers. Set of hex nuts. Okay, so this is going here. All right, hex bolt goes in. Hex bolt goes in here. And then we've got, we need a washer, lock nut, bolt. Bracket orientation is to the inside. So the leg support bracket on the front to the inside. There's the leg support bracket there. Washer, lock washer, nut. Okay, now we can put the table in. So that was pretty good design on their part because we can put the table in here and lay it down on those brackets we just installed. And so I just loosely installed them because I don't know if I need to make an adjustment or not. Okay, here's our table. It's gonna come in and come down. That is nice and tight, so it's making it much easier to hold on to. Question is, where's the bolt to hold it in place? Okay, without that falling, let's see if I can go over here. Okay, it looks like it's not self-supporting, but this part right here is going to go into this hole here, and this hole is threaded. So it's going to need a little help because it's getting pinched pretty good. Okay, so we got it pretty close over there. Now we're just going to have to get it close with the holes on the side. Okay, to bolt this in, we're gonna use these middle screws, but the same hardware we just finished using. Okay, so these don't go on the back. They go, there's two holes here, one's for 36 and one's for 52. The 52 is the one that's more centered. The 36 hole is going to be, the screw is not going to fit in there easy. So that's the difference right here. So I need to move this big rail because now I need to be able to get this slightly level. Ah, that's to lock the foot in. Okay, so this top right bolt is for the top of the leg. And then these last two over here on the right side are for the legs. It says you want to put the front rail has the bottom hole, and then the back rail has the middle hole. Not sure why that is, but that's what the directions say. And that wrench is a 17 millimeter. Where is the other leg? There it is. All right, these are the last 9 screws for the T-Glide. Let me get some gloves on because this is pretty greasy right here. Okay, on this bottom rail, this thing is hoping this is not the case, but it almost looks like you might need to get a tap to chase the threads. So a lot of these are not easy to start by hand. And to be honest, I'm gonna put the rail on here because I don't know how much I actually need to tighten up on this rail to get everything set up, but we're doing pretty good. We're almost done. I really wanted to do this in one go, record one video, because if you guys know anything about time lapse, it's just easier if it's all one file. Okay, let's clean this off and let's do a test with our slide. Just give you guys a heads up, I took the end cap off because there's a big bag of desiccant in there and a bunch of grinding and filing, so I just took this out and I shook it before I put everything back together. All right, let's get our T-Glide. I'm sure the handle's somewhere because I didn't see it. I took it out of the package. All right, it's gotta be in some of these boxes back here. Huh. There it is. It's in the styrofoam. All right, so now we got to remove all of this hardware off of here, and we can begin locking in this rail. We still need our 13 millimeter. We can probably use our ratchet, to be honest. Okay, it says we need to pull this out all the way, and then we need to move this all the way down here. The fence and the front rail, turn the parallel adjustment screws clockwise to reduce the gap. What? Huh. right, guys, we're gonna leave it there for this install. The final step is going to be dialing in this rail. So we're not gonna go over that in this video tonight because we just ran out of time. But pretty much we got the whole entire saw put together. I mean, everything's functional. All we've done is slightly tighten the screw here and down there. So as far as our T-glide right there, it's working really nice, and we don't even have it really dialed in. Table is very flush here, so this that I thought was going to catch, you can see it's just not catching at all. It's very, very, very nice. And yeah, I'm really excited about this table. Remember, we are going to be installing a outfeed. I'm trying to find out what my tape measure is. But the outfeed table is going to come from here. Where is that tape measure? I want to grab a tape measure real quick. I want to measure and tell you how big it's going to be. I mean, I'm going to make it as big as possible. It's going to be 4 feet long. So from the back of the table, and then what we're going to do is bring it from the back and then the width. So let me grab a tape measure really quick so we can talk about what the width is going to be. There's the tape measure. All right, coming back around. So again, this is the 52-inch table. So 7 feet. So that's what it'll be. We'll do a 4 by 7 foot. So this table will be 7 by 7 feet. Or actually, it'll be 7 by, that's 7 by 6.5. So this will be really nice so that when the piece of plywood goes back to the back here, it looks like we're going to need it to, we're going to move the table. So we're going to need to move the table back that way. That way, because we just want to make sure that our piece of plywood clears after we're done cutting it. Yeah, so we need to come back a couple of inches. And then this will be the permanent home for this saw. It'll be great. Rip a bunch of stuff, and then we can start making some cabinets. So, yeah, guys, that's the Sawstop unboxing and install video. Very, very long. So this whole entire process, about, I'd say, without me talking, you could probably get this done, everything dialed in and running. The fastest is probably 3.5 hours. If you do have to wire a little bit of electrical, maybe the fastest is 4 hours to do this. And I did this completely by myself. And this is the Professional 3 horsepower, which doesn't really mean anything. It just means it's heavier. And this is the 240 volts. So tomorrow I'm going to be moving that electrical cable over, and then we'll have a new box over here to work off of, which will be pretty cool. And yeah, that's it. If you guys have any questions on the install or this video, put them in the comments below. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Share it to somebody who's thinking about getting a Sawstop. We'll do some future videos on actually cutting material, which is the whole point of putting this in the shop. Make sure you guys check out vanbuilderhq.com for all the DIY van build articles. And until next time, we'll see you guys in the next video.